This is IRN, which is a 64-digit number, which is we receive from a GST portal. So likewise, you will be having a mobile API, mobile app from where you can scan and you can have a detail on your mobile phone from any location through that QR code. And again, this is, as I said, this is a API based. Through an API, we will be hitting data to GST portal, and from there, through API itself, we will be having data in your system in a single click. So likewise, this all activity will be happening in your system. Next, this is a recent notification that government has came up with. So as you might be aware, from on 24th Feb of this year, they came with a new, we can say, revised rule for e-invoicing, in which anyone who is for 20 or 20 plus year organization has a turnover, so they need to have an e-invoicing system. So this is the fourth phase, which in which they have came with e-invoicing. So these are the benefits. So simply we can understand the benefit based on e-invoicing or the current discussion. Your overall transaction, of course, it is getting automated. Your data is being directly hitting to a GST portal. So of course, government have more traceability. They have we have more transparency in data transaction, in tally of your data and so on. So likewise, overall time saving activity is being happening through e-invoicing activity. And of course, your GSTR 2A is getting minimized, like it is getting automated through e-invoicing. And again, these benefits increases when you opt the services of automation in your invoicing. The services which we are offering to you, like in a single click, your e-invoicing, your e-way bill is getting generated. And again, on the same page, we are giving you an option to cancel that generated e-invoice and so on the same page itself. There is no manual transaction or no need of manual input in an automated e-invoice end-to-end portal. So here I had a screen of ECC as for HANA for your reference. Further, I will take you to SAP Business One also. I have Sachin with me, so again he will be giving more information on this page.
So, as Suraj mentioned, being an ASP and provide the ERP solution provider, we have done the integration of the e-invoice with the multiple systems like SAP, Microsoft, Oracle, and the others. So here it is just being the landscape architecture. We have taken the screenshots over here where we have done the invoice integration with SAP ECC or S4HANA. Okay, so what once we have done the transaction, book the invoice, we can go to the updation of the invoice where we can select the invoice number, document number, and given the additional tab where there is the given the one button for the generate IRN. Once it is created, clicked on it, so it will take all the information like all the shipper details, buyer GSTN, shipper GSTN, HSN, state codes, and the quantity and the amount, which will go on the portal. Take the IRN and the QR code, which will come into the system, and it will just store into the manual fields into the VF02, which is the sales invoice. Okay. So once that has been generated, how it will be look? These are the parameters which are the required. These are the mandatory, which is taking the from the invoice, sales invoice for the IRN. So how it will look like? So this is the layout form where all the information like GST, all the QR code, rest everything as it is, it will be there other than the IRN. So IRN for of the 64 digits, it is the printed, added, incorporated into it, and the QR code. So the next is the e-way bill integration. So e-way bill integration again and the same form. Once you have clicked and generated the IRN, it will go on the additional text, that is the text for the transporter details. Okay, there is we have given the provision into the header text where we can define certain details which is the mandatory for the e-way bill. It's like mode of transport, transporter details like name of the transporter, GSTN, and the vehicle number, pin to pin distance. So here there is an additional validation also we already given, that is the if it is the transporter GSTN is cancelled or the blocked. So system will give the notification that is the it is the blocked. And the again we have given the button over here into the header text to generate the e-way bill. Once we generate the e-way bill button, so it will take all the information and it will come and it will generate the e-way bill. This kind of the e-way bill will generate from the system itself, from the e-way bill portal, and it will come. That link will come and they will store into the user manual field. So this is about the SAP ECC or the and S4HANA. So SAP Business One, how it will integrate. So if you have seen that, okay, we usually do the AR invoice, that is the invoice into the SAP Business One. Once we have done, we have integrated. So here, this is the transaction where you can see the bottom of the transaction. We have given the buttons. It is a different UI than the ECC. So there is a only buttons which we have given on the main form. In the ECC, we have given into the additional tab and the header text. So that is the procedure of the booking, and the updation of the invoice is the different than the B1 into the SAP ECC. So you can see here there is the uh, generate IRN, which is the first button which has been given left right side. You can see just next to the copy form button. If you click on it, it will take it will just take all the information whatever it is related, and it will go on the IRP. It will generate on the NIC portal. It will generate the QR code and the IRN, and it will come and the save into the user manual field. You can see here all the information has been stored, and if you see the format again, it is the similar format layout in the both the systems. If you see the information whatever it is came, and this is the QR code and the IRN is it is generated, which will be printed on your invoice with the all the respective information. So entire format will remain same. Only addition is the QR code and the IRN. That two things will incorporate because of as per the GST right now, whatever invoices you are sending it to the customers, it is the same format will be there. Only mandatory is the IRN and the QR code, which has to be print on the your tax invoice, sales invoice. So here, once we have done that, there is another things, the details, mode of transport, transporter details, and the transporters GSTN. These are the mandatory fields for the validation. There is a vehicle number field also given. So vehicle number is also it is validating it, either it is registered or not, and everything. So once you click, once you have entered all the details, you have to click on the e-way bill generation. So there is the button where you have to just click the e-way bill generate button. Once you clicked on it, so it will take all the respective information of the transporters and the other the material description and the codes and everything, the quantity and all. It will go on the portal and it will come the store the entire link of the e-way bill. So it is there. So this kind of the e-way bill will generate from the system. So being a ASP and as a ERP solution provider, we are given a complete atomization. So there is no need to create any JSON file and upload on the NIC portal. Neither you have to go for the e-way bill generation to put all the details on the portal, then everything, all the products. If it is you have a 10 products, 20 products, so there is no need to feed manually or create any file and then upload manually on the portal. There is only couple of buttons which has been given into the system to just click. So all the information which will take through the API on the portal, and it will come and update all the details into the SAP system, whether it is the business one, whether it is the ACC, any kind of the system we are updating into directly. In addition to that, we have given the provision to update the part B for the e-way bill. Certain cases there might be a things are not available at the time of the booking the invoice and all. So later on, whenever you want to update that part B, you can update it. So that is provision also given. So again, for part B, there is no need to go on the portal and update it and again generate the e-way bill from there. So this is about the integration. What has been done. So what exactly why ASP is required? ASP does and provide the application to use the NIC portal's API, and we are taking all the information on it. So being a ASP, PTS is the one of the fastest growing ASP provider ASP in India in last 1 year. In the last 1 year in the SAP, we have done on almost around 70 plus e-invoicing integrations with the various systems like SAP ECC also, S4 also, and the business one also, and the by design also. So these are the major parameters are required and the mandatory as a statutory compliance. So suppliers GSTN, recipients GSTN. So this is about the e-way bill integration. Everyone, if it is you have any question, queries, or certain things, please just you can ask. So it is, if it is there is the credit note or the debit note which you are raising it to the customers. So it is applicable. It is there because of the whenever it comes. So there is a provision has been given to the system given. So credit note when you are sending it to the customer Suraj. So that is the either of the for the price difference or certain things, right? So for the price difference into the SAP, you will have to create the price difference invoice, and based on that, it will generate again the e-invoice. Sir, export invoice, in the case of the export, uh, there is the always when being in India, we have to print the two invoices. One is the export invoice, which is goes to the customer. It is not mandatory on the customer invoice. That is, we call usually commercial invoice or the export invoice. It is not mandatory on it. But whenever we are taking the tax invoice for the custom purpose and all those, when we are submitting for the generate the bill of entry and all, na, for that it is mandatory on that invoice, but not on the customer invoice. So, sir, unregistered, it means it is coming as a retail only. So it is e-invoice is mandatory for the B2B transactions. If it is unregistered, it means that someone is not having the GST. So it will not come because of the GST is required. So how the e-invoice is the basically it will, which system you are using, sir? Something occur regarding supply to government. Sir, supply to government authority is completely exempted, but still you need the whenever you are sending any material or supplying anything to the government, so it is coming under either of the exempted or the LUT. So in that case, sir, e-invoice will generate. In the case of SEZ also, in the whenever you are sending any material or any services you are providing the SEZ, so it will come under LUT. So under LUT, your tax will exempt, but e-way bill will generate. So you are supplying into the SEZ. And yes, e-way bill is mandatory because of you are sending the material from here to the SEZ. So it has to be crossed that one. No? And there is the as a standard criteria, whatever the 50 kilometers and all, that is as applicable. But the e-way bill will go from go into the SEZ also. But if you have a company in the SEZ, so right now it is already invoicing is there from long because of SEZ is having their own system for the invoicing. So all the every invoice has to be uploaded into that portal. Here what we have given is the AR invoice, जो sales invoice. What we are preparing it. Once we added the sales invoice, there is the button given that the generate IRN and the generate e-way bill. Okay, so once you clicked it, it will go. It will get. It will take all the information required information as the shipper GSTN, buyer share GSTN, and all those 7-8 parameters are required for it for the NIC portal. It will take, and through API in the backend, through the programming, it will go on the NIC portal and it will come and place the IRN and the QR code. QR code into the SAP. These are the fields where we are storing the data and the information, and this information will print on the invoice. Wrong means what, sir? Because of there are the so many things are coming, because here into the system, once you book the order, so it will take all the details from the sales order itself, and it is coming into that. So what kind of the wrong details will punch by the user? No, sir. For the job work, a QR code and the e-invoice is not mandatory. There is, as per GST, there is the job work challan format is already given by the GST. So you can send the material on the challan. If it is there is the hospital, if I'm not wrong, even the hospital, they don't have a GSTN. They don't have a tax basically. Okay, so in that case, it will not generate it. It will go as an exempted one. In the case of the export, you will have to put the distance up to the your port, because of your material. It is you are exporting to the another country, and for the e-invoicing, yeah, it will that your local GST invoice is applicable up to the port only. There is a provision to enter a destination port, final destination, and everything into the SAP which we have given it. It is allowed. System allow it, but not more than the 24 or 36 hours, if I'm not wrong. As per the GST or the e-way bill, certain notifications are there. There you can do the next day within 24 hours or 36 hours, that they have given the bracket of it. But yes, there is a system is allowing it. See, sir, there is the provision. So what kind? There are the multiple ways to take the rejection back to your company. Okay, either of they can send a fresh, that is the they are rejecting the material. If you are sending back to the them, then you can send it on the challan and you can take that back, the rejected one, to your premise. But what GST says whenever the material is already reached there, and now you have to take back that material to your premise. So they have to raise the again, that is the purchase return invoice. So it will come and you can book the e-way bill based on that document. So you have a 10 items. Out of 10, if it is there are the either of all 10 are the rejected or the 2 are the rejected, whatever the partial are rejected, so you can take it, but you have to generate it. Sir, for that, Raman sir, you can cancel, but before canceling the e-invoice, you have to cancel the e-way bill. Then you can cancel the e-invoice also. See, sir, there is that is what we said. There is the we are doing all three all this entire automation through the APIs. So whenever we are doing, we are getting the confirmation of the invoice generation. So we registered based on the PAN on the API registration for the PAN basis on the NIC portal. So automatically it creates one sandbox. And in addition to that, we have given one dashboard where you can see how many invoices it has been generated successfully, how much what it is failed, or what e-way bill it is generated through the APIs and all. Yes, sir, very much. We can create and maintain the different series for it. Only subject to numeric number has to be unique. See, sir, here this is the dashboard which we have given it for the customers. So they can see the e-invoice, how many successfully it is generated and what exactly it is failed, plus e-way bill as well as the e-invoice, both the thing. There is the dashboard, plus there is the report which you can download also into the Excel. So there is a report given. It is for the services also. There is into the SAP, there is the service invoice which we can book, type of the service, and normal the same way. It is the same way which we are generating the invoice for the goods. Either we have to select only the service, or the service item. So it is depend on how exactly you are managing into the system all the transaction related to the services. But process will remain same. There is no different process for the service or the goods. For both type of the transaction service, the process will remain same. Sir, we have given Anil sir, we have given the logs of it. So you can get the log, what exactly the error which it came during the e-invoice. We have given the logs also there in the system. So Anil sir, here you can see the logs, why it is failed, what exactly was the issue, because of the either of the location was the required but empty and all those. So all these kind of the logs and the errors has been already mentioned, and we are storing it. So it is easy to rectify it, and you can generate the e-invoice immediately. Yes, sir, it is very much possible into the system. There is the one to many and many to one things are there. So from the multiple POs, you can generate the one invoice. From the one in PO, you can generate the multiple invoice. Both the things, vice versa, it is possible. One to many and many to one. It is very much possible. It is there. So this portal, what you are right now saying in the screen now, that is the entire history of your transaction from day one. On the portal, you can see only for the last 2 days. And this is not stored anywhere on the server or anything. It will be stored in the sandbox, which is we are generating at the time of the registering your APIs. Yes, sir. We are always there for you, sir. Anytime you can call, we are already updated. Let's conclude it. Thank you once again. If any query, anything, any issue, please just be in touch with our team, Suraj and other our team members. They will help you. They will support you.
So thank you so much, team. So we are winding up this call. As said, if you have any query, anything, do drop us a text or mail. We will be here. Thank you so much for your time.